This love of mine goes on and on, though life is empty.
Jack Jones is one of those singers that makes each song his own, with over 50 albums, 17 of them reaching Billboard's top 20, and consistently sold out concerts around the world. He continues to entertain audiences by singing the great popular standards. It is a great pleasure to welcome Jack Jones joining us by telephone today. And Jack, I've been looking forward to meeting you for a long time. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us in Sarasota. How are you?
I'm fine, except that I just heard my very first album I ever made.
Is that your first album?
You're playing a cut from the first album that I made on Capitol Records, where I was scared to death.
Were you? Is that? Yeah. I didn't know that was from your first album. Yeah.
I can hear the fear in my voice.
No, it sounded great. I was listening to some of your other stuff. The new Jack Swing. I like how you did some of the newer songs in the traditional big band style. That was a couple years ago, wasn't it? I'm sorry?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that was good stuff. And, well, how you been? You've been touring over in Europe, I understand. Scotland, was it?
I was in, Glasgow. I headlined the Glasgow International Jazz Festival. And I closed the whole festival. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to be going to Vegas in about 2 weeks. And right now I'm up here in Sun Valley, Idaho, just taking a little vacation.
Oh, you're in Idaho. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your vacation. I know it's early out there, but we have a lot of fans down here. We do a show on Sunday nights featuring a lot of the big bands and American popular standard vocalists such as yourself, and it's really popular, this type of music, among young people. Have you noticed that at your audiences, at your concerts?
Yeah, I have. A lot of younger audiences now. People are really interested in the music, and their parents have had the records around the house, and and now they're interested in themselves, so they come to see guys like me. It's great.
And you just can't beat the American popular standard.
Hello?
Go ahead.
I've been in your area, but not recently. I was at the Van Weasel, I guess it was.
Right, I was going to ask you. Yeah, are you heading back down this way next fall or winter? Do you know?
I will be at some time. We're talking about coming back. I played a lot around the area for a while, and we're talking about doing Tampa and St. Petersburg and Clearwater and stuff like that. So we'll get closer to you.
I know you've been in Ruth Eckerd Hall before, and weren't you doing a job recently in February over in Tampa area, weren't you? St. Leo's College?
I was in February. I was over at the FAU.
Okay, right. So yeah, Florida's been a big place for you to come down to, and
oh sure.
Yeah, and now I
came through with Man of La Mancha at one time.
You're doing a lot more musical theater. Right, yeah, that's something that you've been doing the last few years, musical theater, Guys and Dolls, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you enjoy that as much as doing the stage show? Or?
Yeah, I love both mediums. I just love to perform and love to sing. And I'm going to be making an album this fall, and life is good.
That's great. Yeah, you've been doing it for a while, and
yeah, I've been doing it for a while.
But you don't look it.
Thank you.
Love
Florida.
What's that?
I love being in Florida. It's a great place.
Great audiences down here, isn't it?
Yeah, great audiences, and it's just a wonderful place. It's too bad I never wound up living there. I have my daughter's going to school out in the West Coast, and I live in La Quinta, California, which is near Palm Springs.
You grew up in L.A., didn't you? I know your dad was in movies. Obviously, the audience that doesn't know, Alan Jones was Jack's father. So you grew up in that Hollywood atmosphere, didn't you?
Right. Yeah.
And always been out there. Your style, I guess you would say, is one of the great interpreters of the masters, including Cole Porter, Harold Arlen, Sammy Cahn, and especially George Gershwin. I know you devoted a whole album to Gershwin music. Is that your particular favorite?
Yeah, we're going to celebrate Cole Porter, and it looks like I'm going to put a whole Cole Porter show together. That's when you might be seeing me around. I might come around with that.
Oh, great.
The Florida Orchestra and I are talking about putting that together, and that would take me Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, and possibly down to you.
Great, yeah. We have big jazz club down in this area, and they enjoy hearing this type of music. We had Steve Lawrence on a few weeks ago on the show, and he's always commented how Sarasota is one of the best towns for them to perform in. I'm sure you'll feel the same way when you come back here. So
where did you say it was great to perform?
Van Wezel, and every time he comes.
No, that's great. That would be. So we're going to be doing theater, so that would be part of it if we did come down there.
Yeah, they just built a whole new extension to it, so they can house musical theater now. So I'm sure that'll be on your tour if you do come back in a musical production.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
they did about a year or two, so they can do the road companies of Broadway shows and shows such as yours. So, we'll look forward to that. I know you were inspired by your musical style by a lot of jazz artists like Jerry Mulligan and Clark Terry and Buddy Rich. Talk a little bit about your musical influences and getting into the business as a youngster.
Well, I started listening to jazz when I was a kid, and that's when I was listening to Jerry Mulligan and all the greats. I just I very rarely listen to singers except for Sinatra and Sammy Davis and let's see and Rosie Clooney. So that's and the rest of the kids were all listening to the beginnings of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then Elvis came along about that time too. So, but I was listening to jazz. The Dave Pell Octet, Marty Page Dectet. And I wound up doing a lot of records with Marty Page as my backup. Yeah,
right. I know you did an album to tribute to Tony Bennett recently, and he was one of your favorites, obviously.
Yeah, that was nominated for a Grammy too. It was a good album.
Yeah, excellent album and
great material. I mean, Tony Bennett hardly ever has made a wrong choice.
No, he hasn't. No, he's still going strong. I know he just celebrated a birthday recently, and he's still touring around the country like yourself and keeping the music alive, which is important, I guess, isn't it?
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Would you say?
I'm just saying you and Tony Bennett still touring around the country, keeping the music alive, which is very important, I would say.
Oh, it is important, yes. It's important, and it's great that people want to hear it.
Variety TV, unfortunately, is no longer what it used to be. You've been on a lot of those shows, like Ed Sullivan and the Judy Garland show. Do you miss that, and do you think it has a chance of coming back in any form?
Well, everything comes back in some sort of form. If we could pass this reality TV thing, where everyone's a star,
right?
And they get paid nothing for it.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what's going on with the networks. They got the greatest deal. Everybody's a star, and they don't have to pay any stars.
Yeah. Yeah. The winner of those shows might get something, but everybody else goes home with nothing.
Yeah. Well, that becomes down. Then they get something, but but the rest of the time, all these other people, who if you get sucked in, you follow it. You follow it every week, and I have done. I've followed Survivor and all that stuff.
Right. I guess the closest one to showbiz would be Last Comic Standing. At least the entertainers get to show some what they can do, but everything else is pretty much.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's not bad. It's a little manipulative, like all of them are, but at least you get to see them do their stand-up act. They might have one. They should have one. Well, I guess American Idol is kind of like for singers, but really it's not.
I think we should have a new one now. Give it a Greek title and singers get up and sing, and if they like them, they throw plates at them.
Yeah,
like they do in Greece.
That'd be great.